Welcome back, and I hope you are having an amazing day. Today, you are tuning in to another 5-minute devotional, and I'm excited to bring it to you. And we're going to be talking about when Jesus walks on water and also when Peter builds up the courage to step out of the boat and what happens when fear comes into his mind. And I know at times we ask ourselves questions and we begin to maybe say we're not good enough, and maybe that is just fear bubbling up within your life. It's an emotion, and maybe it's something that is good, or maybe it's something that pushes you. And so we're going to talk about, is fear a good thing? Well, like I said, we're going to be talking about, is fear a good thing? And I want to first just read the scripture, and I want just the scripture to kind of speak for itself about this topic. And then I'll just talk about a few questions that I wrote down. And so we're in Matthew 14, 22 to 33. And so we're going to start in verse 22. And it says, immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. And after he dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against them. Shortly before the dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. So we first see the first glimpse of fear come upon them. And then, but Jesus immediately said to them, take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid. Key phrase here, don't be afraid. He sensed their fear. In verse 28, it says, Lord, if it's you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. Come, he said. Then Peter stepped out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. Right there, you could just stop the story and just say how amazing it is, that Peter was able to stand on the water with Jesus in that moment. It just shows how faithful he is, and that he saw and he answered. And so then the next part of this is key. So again, it says in verse 29, come, he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But then when he saw the wind, he was afraid. So again, fear started to creep back in. And he began to sink, cried out, Lord, save me. And immediately he reached out his hand and caught him. And so I want to first talk about the bad side of fear, the thing that it can maybe promote in our life. And so the first one is it can have you just asking what, when, why. God could call you. We've talked about how important it is to answer the call. It could leave you the fear of disappointment, the fear of, maybe just doubting yourself, the fear of what others will think begins to just leave yourself asking why, and then you just sit there. You never do it. Secondly, it can push others away. Maybe you're scared to meet new people. You're scared to go to a new church. You're scared to start a new job. You're scared of whatever it may be. And you're so fearful that people don't want to be around you, or you just don't let yourself be around other people. You're so scared of what they think. Like I said, you push them away because of your negativity. And I've had that before in my life, where I can point out the flaws in so many different things. I need to hold that back. It's like my fear of being disappointed. And then the third question I ask is, or the thing I say is, that fear can keep us from our full potential. We can, like Peter here. Yes, he walked on the water, and it's like, we do this in our lives. I think we get blessed by God, and we're in the moment, and then we start doubting ourselves. We're saying we're not good enough for this platform. We're not good enough for this job. Fear starts to creep in, and immediately our faith wavers, and we begin to sink. And so then I want to kind of flip these. And so, yes, we talked about fear can have you asking why, but I believe that can be a good thing. Fear can open you up to asking for help. Maybe that's the thing you need to do. The fear of being alone is just eating at you, and you finally have stepped out in faith and say, God, I need help. And we see that here. Peter said, God, help me. And immediately he reached down. God will hear your cry. And secondly, fear stretches us into new situations. Come on. The first part of this says, and they cried out in fear. And then within moments of saying, listening to Jesus say, take courage, Peter has the faith to walk on the water with him, not just watch, but walk with him. And then third, fear can promote better preparation. We see down here at the bottom where we said, Fear can keep us from our potential, but I believe that looking back on the times where we were fearful, or maybe in the preparation, we're fearful that, we're not going to do the things, or we're not going to succeed. We're not going to answer the call in the best way. And so immediately we feel, and I don't want you to feel pressure, but I want you to feel spirit filled preparation. Like we've said before, God is with you in the beginning, He's with you in the preparation. And so I challenge you to feel Him in that. Feel that there is good that comes out of that stretching and that bending and that breaking of maybe your study times for school, or maybe you're trying to learn new technology for work, whatever it may be. God is there. There's beauty within that mold where He starts to shape you and bend you and break you into a new form. And so, yes, fear can be a good thing. Depends on what you do with it. Fear can eat at you and cause you to doubt yourself and push you away, or fear can propel you to create a better preparation and then just bless you. God will bless you with the provisions if you stay the course. So I hope this was encouragement to you. If you're struggling with fear, man, talk to somebody. Remember, this is not where your faith, should only be growing, is here on this channel or on Spotify, wherever you're listening. But be in a church. This is not a church. Get connected, have accountability, and talk to someone about the fear that might be holding you back. Hope you have an amazing day, and as always, God bless.